Just about 24 hours ago, exactly, that we got the word the testimony in the Bill Cosby case was suddenly over. It had just begun.
Yeah, the defense called just one witness. It was a detective, Richard Schaefer. And then they questioned him for about 6 minutes, and then they said, okay, that's it. We rest our case.
So with his wife, Camille, by his side in the courtroom for the first time, Cosby clearly and loudly answered correct when the judge asked him if he supported the decision neither to present character witnesses nor testify in his own behalf. So after closing arguments, the Cosby sexual assault trial, now with the jury. Joining us right now to give us some insight on this is defense attorney Sara Azari. Were you surprised when they didn't mount much of a defense case there?
Not at all, Steve. You know, the media has made such a big deal about this, and there's actually nothing extraordinary about this. Why? Because in our criminal justice system, the prosecution has the entire burden of proof. And the prosecution has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of the crime. So essentially, this is 6 minutes too long. The defense doesn't have to do a thing. And also, Cosby has a Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. Just because he's a celebrity doesn't mean that he doesn't have any constitutional rights. So as much as I think we all, jurors included, have this burning desire to hear from the accused, you know, we expect the person who's accused of a crime to kick and scream and explain why he didn't do this heinous act, we have to respect, and the jurors have to respect, that the law is that the defendant can assert his Fifth Amendment privilege.
The celebrity thing cuts two ways, though, because oftentimes if you're a celebrity, you have more constitutional rights than anybody.
True, but you know what? The celebrity status, his celebrity status, cuts two ways in the following, in that the defense is saying because he's a celebrity, because he's America's favorite dad, these women, and specifically Constant in this case, is trying to get their 15 seconds of fame on CNN, and you know, they're trying to make a name for themselves using him. It's about greed and lies in the media. Essentially, that's what the defense attorney saying. But the prosecution saying, actually, no, because he's a celebrity and because he's powerful, he's using that charm to lure these women, build the trust, and then, you know, drug them and assault them.
We watched his wife walk in yesterday with that smile on her face. It had to be a difficult walk. But the word also is she sat behind him in the courtroom with a smile on her face. How does that play to a jury?
Well, I think that it humanizes him. I mean, even the defense is saying, look, he's not a great guy. He's a flawed guy. He's a stray man. He's a philanderer. That's what the defense is saying. But that doesn't mean he's a criminal. And so by his wife being there and portraying, you know, the good wife that's supporting him despite this all, I think psychologically it communicates to the jurors that, you know, he's not that bad of a guy.
Got a bigger question for you. I often ask this question. Oftentimes justice and the law will meet, but not all the time.
Right.
You're his defense attorney. You know he did it. Your job, though, is to represent him in every possible way you can. Do you feel any qualms about getting a guilty person off?
Not at all, because my job is to make sure that my client's constitutional protections are in place, that the government is not overreaching, that my client has a fair defense. We all, you know, deserve that. And so sometimes there's really bad facts and I have to work with those facts, but my job is not to judge a client and try to figure out whether he really did.
But let me back that a little bit up and say, do you know whether your clients are guilty? Do you know? Do they admit it to you?
Do you want to know?
Do you know?
Yeah.
On day one when I first meet them, or, you know,
do you begin to suspect? I mean, do you definitively know? How often does somebody, hey, listen, this is what I really did?
Sometimes people are very honest, and I think it helps because, you know, you're not sent off on a wild goose chase looking for evidence that is irrelevant. I think it's helpful when the client's honest, but, you know, just because somebody admits to me that they did something does not sort of end my job to defend them. I mean, I'm still looking for loopholes in the law. I'm still looking to make sure the elements of the crime are met.
The worst person requires a good defense.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, that's our law. That's the way it works.
Back to Cosby now. The other 5 or 6 or 40 or 60 women who have gone public, they're not involved in this trial, but they can't not be involved.
Absolutely.
The jury knows all about it. They went to Pittsburgh to get these people. They know all about this.
Some of them are in the courtroom.
A couple of them were, and the defense attorney looked at them.
How much does that play with the jury?
Well, you know what? Well, before I get to that, to me, Constant was the only person whose statute of limitations had not run in Pennsylvania. And so even though this trial is about Constant's day in court, it's as though all these women, the other 59, are also getting justice through constant.
Let me ask you, how we're saying 10 years. Could Bill Cosby be put away realistically for 10 years?
It could actually be more than 10 years
Really?
in this case, yeah.
Well, he has several 10-year possibilities
Correct,
here.
correct.
Yeah.
So if they're stacked, if they're consecutive, you know, he could be facing
Let me
more.
go back to what you were saying about the other women who are not there. You feel that the jury may be including them in their decision making?
Well, I hope that they had jury consultants, that these jurors were vetted properly, that they're going to make their decisions solely based on the evidence they heard in court and not based on what the media has said. Because the media has already convicted Bill Cosby, you know, and they really have to sort of, they've been sequestered during the trial, and they really have to just limit their decision to what they heard in court. And I just really want to say this because this really you know, was striking to me, are the inconsistencies in Constance's account of what happened to her. Sometimes witnesses testify to inconsistent facts and they're not important. She testified to facts that are very important, such
like
as, have you ever been alone with Bill Cosby before this assault? That, you know, when you're alone with Bill Cosby, that's not a fact that you forget. You probably remember what dress you were wearing at the time. And she lied and said she has never been alone with Bill Cosby before this assault.
How do you know it's a lie?
Well, through
Where did it come out?
cross-examination,
Yeah.
it came out that there were multiple instances where she was alone with him.
Is she the wrong one for this trial?
You know, she was the only one that they could.
I understand other rules in Pennsylvania,
Right.
but given the other whatever number there is.
I would think there are probably others with much stronger cases.
You
that-
brought something up, though, that's important just now. Inconsistencies in testimony. The fact that she saw him again, how many times after?
72 calls between the two of them, 50-something were initiated by her. And this is the problem I have, Liz, is that, you know, sometimes victims have a family relationship with a perpetrator or the accused. Sometimes they're minors and it's their, you know, creepy uncle or whatever.
Yes,
and they have no
and they
choice
see-
but to
Complicated,
stay
it's
in
complicated, but
that
not-
contact. She does
Okay.
not have that, and yet she remained in
Sarah,
contact with Bill
we've
Cosby.
got to go, but before we go,
Yeah.
give us your prediction.
You know, it all depends on whether the jury believes the defense, that he was just a philanderer, that this was consensual
Give
sex.
us your prediction.
I think he's going to be not guilty.
Okay. All right, we'll check back.
Thank you for having
Thanks,
me.
Sarah. Thank you.